Hello, and welcome to the podcast. Today, my good friend Brendan and I will be talking about Rick Riordan's new book, The Dark Prophecy. It is the second installment of a fictional adventure series, The Trials of Apollo. The books in this series center around a dilemma of what if gods exist and normal people are not aware of them. It is a quick-moving story that is action-packed with great comedy to fill in the lulls in the action. As I mentioned before, we are joined here today by Brendan. Feel free to say hi, Brendan.
Hey, how is it going?
So let's start by giving some of the background on the first book of the series. In short, Apollo is being punished by Zeus. He was turned into an unflattering mortal teenage boy. Apollo is to be mortal until he is able to take back the Oracle of Delphi that happens to be under control of his new mysterious enemies known as the Triumvirate.
Not only is he forced into mortality, but he must follow all of the orders from his new master, Meg. She gets very close to Apollo, but then half betrays him in the end because her stepfather is one of the triumphant leaders.
The second book took place right after the first book. Apollo and his new friends Leo and Calypso, who he just met right at the end of the first book, are trying to recapture an oracle that they believe to be in Indianapolis. There, they find one of the three leaders in the Triumvirate. Luckily, he's the weakest of the three, but still very dangerous to say the least.
They end up getting rescued by Joe and are allowed to stay at their home called the Way Station. That is their base of operation for most of the book.
The first important plot point of the book is when Apollo and Calypso go to the zoo to free the Griffins and end up bringing Meg to the Way Station. Meg ran away from her stepfather's men to go and try and help Apollo. This was the first time they left the Way Station after they were rescued.
Another important part is when Meg, Leo, and Apollo go to the temple of the triumphant member and stole the Throne of Memories. They needed to get to his throne in order to hear the prophecies of the nearby oracle without going insane.
Then comes the climax of the story. After they steal his throne, the triumphant member finds out where the Way Station is. He personally tries to rip it apart brick by brick. Apollo saves the day when it looks like the triumphant member has the upper hand and is able to summon a burst of godly energy that blinds the evil emperor. So now that we have explained what happened, who is your favorite character, Brendan?
I really like Leo because he's a very creative person because he created this huge dragon that basically flies him everywhere and it's all mechanical, and he just did that by hand through previous books that are by Rick Riordan, and this is the newest one and he's in it, so it's pretty hype. Who is your favorite character, Will?
My favorite character is probably Calypso. She's an interesting character because in this book she doesn't have any powers. She gave it up to be with your favorite character, Leo. But she still is really strong and stuff, and she's able to get things done without powers, which is pretty cool. So did you like the book? What would you rate it?
I really enjoyed reading the book. I would give it an 8 out of 10, but it wasn't my favorite book out of all the Rick Riordan books, because I really enjoy the series and every book that he makes is always really good. How about yourself?
I really enjoyed the book. I would give it about 9 out of 10. I think that it was a very good book, but I was disappointed that it wasn't as good as some of the other books. It just felt like there wasn't as many characters as the other books, and I don't know. I liked the multitude of characters in the other one, which is why it's not a 10 out of 10. But other than that, it was a great book. I hope we drew some interest in this book. This wraps up our conversation on The Dark Prophecy. Thank you for joining us today, Brendan. Go out there, and I hope you enjoy this awesome book.